Good morning, guys. Welcome to another episode of Excel Talk Show. Today is 2019, December 22nd, Sunday, 6 o'clock p.m. San Francisco time. Hello, guys, and we are going to talk about technical topics today. Lots of technical topics on programming, on Linux, on rsync. So let's begin. So this is gonna be, I hope it's gonna be a dense talk. So you go to the YouTube description and you can find a link, and then you can see my wait, am I going? Yes. So so let's see what are people saying. So we're gonna talk about technical topics today, and good morning, guys. Pedro, is there anything planned for today? Yes. I'm upgrading my PC while I watch your stream. Okay, when will you upgrade yours? Oh wait, um, those veggies looks oily. Yes. So okay, so we're gonna do technical topics. We're gonna talk about Linux. We're gonna talk about rsync. I'm gonna tell you what it is and how to use it and give you a demo. And we're gonna do Golang, and I'm going to tell you what is the best way to learn Golang. Golang is a very simple language. You can learn it in a few days. Okay, you can learn almost all of it in a few days. Now let's see, where is my pen? Ah, now I cannot find my pen. Oh, there. So I need two pens. I require two pens so that I can draw them at any time. So good morning, James Stewart. So we are going to do, and I'm going to explain, then I'm going to explain number system, okay? The history of mathematics, numbers, what are numbers, number notations, and I'm gonna explain number base. What does it mean? Number base 16, base 10, base 9, base 7. Have you ever heard of number base 7? You can do that. You can have a number of any base, okay? And we are going to write a program that converts number from one base to another. This is continuation from yesterday, from Emily Clark. Good morning, Kathy, to UK. Okay, so well, I was a member of Mensa, like in 1991, because Mensa is pretty silly. Okay, it's supposed to be top 10% of IQ people, but it's kind of like a cult, Mensa. And if you want to meet smart people, there are quite a lot of people smarter than Mensa. And by the way, there's another club, which is 1 in 10,000 or 1 in 100,000 something. Intelligence club. So anyway, so I'm going to show you. So let's begin. Okay, practical. You go to Xali practical Unix tutorial. Xali Linux. Okay, you just search for Xali Linux. Hold on a second. Let me get this correct. Stop that. And check one more time. Okay, so you go to Xali Linux. You go to practical Linux tutorial. Then you find my Linux tutorial. Okay, so this tutorial is command-based tutorial. So you want to learn all the most practical Linux commands that are used daily. You go to this tutorial. It's helpful. So if you are new to Linux, Nabi, or any one of you, check it out. Okay, this is my tutorial, and I'm going to show you today rsync, because we were talking about it at rsync. Rsync is pretty basic command and very practical, very useful. So if you don't know, you might learn it. So rsync, what is it? What does it do? It allows you to sync your computer or directory from one computer to a remote computer. The remote computer can be your work computer, can be a server, or can be anything. So it's sync. It's remote sync. That's what rsync stands for. Remote sync. So you just run one command, and all your directory structure will be mirrored almost identically, basically identically to the remote machine. So that's the rsync. Rsync is built in Linux. You don't have to install it. It's built in, and it's also it's built in on the Mac. Okay, I'm pretty sure. So let's see which rsync. User being rsync. So it is also part of Mac. So rsync. So it allows you to sync one directory on your machine, or from one machine to a remote machine. But also, this can be done on any two directory. So the directory needs not to be a remote server. So you can, for example, you have one directory on your machine, and directory A, and you have another directory B. You want them to be synchronized, like exactly the same. So you can run rsync, which is rsync is basically a advanced version of SCP. SCP is a older command on Unix called remote copy, secure copy. Okay, SCP. So rsync is a advanced version of it. You have lots of options. So for example, so let's see. So on my terminal, let me show you my terminal. Okay, so rsync, for example, you can type man rsync, and you got this huge amount of page down, huge amount of documentation. Okay, huge amount of arguments, options. Like the typical Linux, huge. So that's rsync. Very complex. If you haven't used it before, it's very difficult to understand what are all these options. But so it's like endless. Okay, endless. The man page is like 10, 20 to 30 pages. Okay, so that's rsync. Now, of course, you can also call the man command in Emacs. Let me do it. Okay, rsync. So you see, now I'm in my Emacs, and here is the documentation of rsync. And in Emacs, you can see the score bar on the right, and you can see it's gonna go over. So that's rsync, and I'm going to show you how to do it. Okay, how to do it. So you go to my Linux tutorial, you click on rsync, and the basic. So it's just a bunch of options. Okay, like right now, and rsync uses SSH. So you can see there's an option SSH, so it's secure, and and also, one thing important to remember is that rsync is one way. It's not two-way sync. Okay, so it's just one way. Like you want one directory to go or out to the other directory. So how do you use it? There's not much to it except just the options. You just have to know what all the options do. So the easiest way to do is just like copy my code here. You read, copy. So basically the syntax is like this. Okay, so you got rsync, a bunch of options. Z means like compress it first, something like that, so it saves bandwidth. A means archive mod. V means verbose, so that when the command runs, it shows you what it's doing. And T means use timestamp, uh, which means that it based on the modified time, so that it doesn't have to check on files that has the same timestamp. Anyway, so those are the options. Okay, so you just use them. Those are the common typical. So this line is the typical way you use rsync. Then after those options, then you say dash dash rsh equals to then your SSH login. SSH dash L means login, then your name, to a remote server. You don't have to use SSH if you don't want to. Then, okay, so those are the options. Then the last two parts are the directory. For example, I have here a local directory tilde-web, which is home directory, web directory. Then here is the remote directory. So in this command, that means I want to sync all the directory in my home directory named web and all this directory into a remote server located at example.org, and the login name is Joe, and sync it to the remote directory on that machine, the home directory of Joe. So that's a basic syntax, and that's it. That's about it. Now rsync has many options like we showed before. So for example, this one, let me copy it. Okay, let me show you in Emacs. Okay, so that's an example. So for example, let me replace space by a return, so it's clear. So this exclude means you don't want to include any file ending in tilde. Typically, those are Emacs backup. And then you exclude dsstore, which is a temp file Mac created on a Mac. Then you also exclude bash history. For sometimes in my case, I don't want to include that. I don't want to overwrite the bash history on the remote machine. Then you can say this excludes all directories uh, that contains this directory name and all the PNG files. That's what this line means. Then you exclude logs. Okay, so you have some exclude commands. Then you have delete option. Delete option means if on the remote destination, if some file or directory is not in my current directory, is not in my source directory, then simply delete it. Okay, so that's an option for that. So if you include delete, that means you want the two directories to be exactly the same. If you don't include the delete, that means whatever is there, it doesn't delete them. Okay, then I have this that option SSH. Then at the end, this is a source directory, this is a destination. So that's rsync. Now let me show you an example. Okay, example of rsync in real life. For example, let's begin xarli command log mod. Okay, and so on the left window you see all my Emacs command, and let's set background color. Set background color. THI. Okay, Thesel1. Okay, that's a background color. That's good. Okay, let me show you a demonstration of rsync. Now, you can see right now I'm on this HTML page that is Xar Talk Show today. So I'm going to delete the first paragraph, live streaming in 1 hour. I don't need that anymore. So delete, show in browser. You see that line is good. Now go back to Emacs. I start eShell. Then I call this command. Okay, this is a xarli brief. So let me show you that. Let's skip that. Let me just show you the command. Okay, so here is rsync. You see, I type a key. Let me show you again. So close it, go to eShell, magnify, then I call abbreviation. So there it is. That's my rsync command to sync my website to the server. So you can see, rsync, then delete, then change mod. That change mod means you can change that's a UNIX directory permission thing. If you don't know that, that takes some time to explain. So change mod, Unix directory has permissions. So I want to change mod to those mod. So let me show you what Unix file and directory permissions are. So for example, I'm in a, let's go to directory. So this is my talk show directory. Let's delete the files we don't need. Okay, so now for example, this file, topic notes. So you can see these kind of things. Those are Unix file permission mods. Okay, now that's another topic. If you don't know that, you have to go to my go to my Linux tutorial. You can understand them by reading one of these page. Sysadmin. So Linux shell basics, Linux sysadmin, then file permission. On this page, I explain what all those means. It's Unix. Okay, Unix is fairly complicated and it's no good in my point of view, in my opinion. So anyway, so back to rsync. Then I say exclude something something something, then SSH, then from my web directory to my server directory. My website is hosted on this web server. So I say enter. Okay. Okay, it asks me to type a password. So let me type a password. Okay, and now it's building a file list. So it's done. So what it does is it has updated this directory and it has updated that file. I have about 6,000 files in. Well, I have like 15,000, 20,000 files in this web directory. So you see, it's very fast. Back then, like 10, 20 years ago, when rsync came up, it's one of the greatest tool because it has new technology, algorithms. So anyway, so we have just shown I have like 20,000, 30,000 files, and it's updated, and only updated this one single file because it knows which file needs to update. So now if you go to my website, let's see xali.info. Okay, man page is one of the worst thing. Okay, that's another topic. That's the Unix pestilence. Unix is full. Unix, the technology of Unix, in my opinion, is the worst shit possible. Now I know many of you don't think like that way. Like, oh, what are you talking about? Like in many of you guys' mind that Unix is the best operating system, technically at least. Because this or that. No, well, in my opinion, it's one of the worst. In fact, we have just shown some of them, some aspect of them. For example, the rsync, the man pages, which is incomprehensible, the worst garbage possible in the computing industry. And we have, and well, anyway, we are digressing a lot. So you go to Xali, Xali.info, click on talk show, and go down and click on Talk Show today. You can see it's updated. You see, because rsync is successful. Okay, I think that's about rsync. That's it about rsync. Close that, and close that, and open this in browser. Okay, let's go to practical Linux. Okay, let me copy the path and paste it here. I am bad at math. James Stewart says I'm bad at math. I'm bad at reading man pages. I'm bad at reading file diffs. Okay. Hello, Tikek. Okay, that is about rsync. So that concludes one of the topic. Show my rsync tutorial, and demo rsync to my server. And now let me show you this thing. I just bought it today. Now I have money. This is $70. Okay. You know what this is? This is a external drive, 2 terabytes. Now this is gonna be good for me for good. Let's see if I can show that. 2 terabytes and USB 3. Okay, it's got it's so new that I just opened it and I have not plugged in yet. You see, so let's see what is this. So let's take it out. So you got a USB cable, USB. Okay, so this is the normal USB. This is some funky, I don't know what. Okay, so you plug in one side. This is very light actually. So this is very small. It's like palm sized. So what is the other side of the plug? It looks like a proprietary kind of thing. Is it proprietary kind of a thing? So you plug in here, then you plug in the other side to the computer, and then you have it. And you go buy, okay? You like my stuff and go buy it. So there it is, the Amazon link. So Seagate, they have one like for 2 terabyte. Okay, so hold on a second. Let me copy that. Okay, copy and go here and paste it, and you can go and see. And meanwhile, let's Brave, show link in Brave, and you click on that. So on Amazon, you have this version that this is 5 terabytes. Okay, $110. Seagates, very small. Okay, very small. Nice. So finally, now I can do backup. Okay, that's about that. Now let's go to, oops, what did I just close by mistake? Oh, reopen Discord. We don't want to close Discord. So go back. So next topic, golang. Nabiyan, I'm a super speed connector. What do you, so what, Tera, what bot, what Tera? So what do you call that micro USB with the thing on the side? It's a super speed connector. Oh, I lost my, when I wanted to buy a new one, but couldn't find it. Oh, super speed connector. Okay. Is that a standard or is that proprietary thing? So anyway, so that's about the backup drive I just bought. So you guys buy it. Now let me explain the next thing, how to learn Golang. Okay. Let me give you a 3 minutes guide on how to learn Golang. Golang is my favorite industrial language. It's super fast. It's great. Okay, I talked about this many times. Terabyte. Oh, not tetra. Oh, tera. Okay, terabyte. Tera is like terrible. Terabyte. So Golang. Okay, Xali Golang. You go to my Golang tutorial. I'm gonna give you a 3 minutes guide on how to learn Golang. Okay, this is gonna be great guide. Okay, listen to me and you'll be good. You go wander on your own. I know many of you like to do that because I'm that type of person. And then many of you like to, oh yeah, because I said that, but I'm just going to go and do explore for myself. Well, but I can give you a guide for how to learn Golang. Okay, first you learn. Oh, my screen is black. Thank you, Nabi. So you go to Golang tutorial, right? So you go to Golang, go to Xali, search for Xali Golang tutorial. So you go to my tutorial, and the first thing you do is read my tutorial. Okay, just read it. There are 34 pages. Golang is very simple. Okay, you can learn it in few days. You can. This is as opposed to Python, JavaScript, Clojure, as opposed to Haskell. Haskell is the most difficult to learn. As opposed to Java, all those are more difficult. Okay, Golang is extremely easy, simple to learn, and it is the most used in industry. You learn it, you get a job. You got money coming in non-stop, easily. Okay, so I recommend Golang. Now I know many of you nerds like like, oh, I want to learn scheme list. I want to learn some of the esoteric languages. No, no, no. Learn Golang. Okay, unless you know what you are doing. So I highly recommend you learn Golang. Golang is all powerful, highly practical, industrial, widely used. Used everywhere, like C, C++, Java, used everywhere. And the language is very good. Okay, the documentation is the best in the industry. I can tell you for sure, because I've read all documentations in the past 30 years. So Golang, I highly recommend it. Now, how do you learn it? Here's how. Okay, you so I recommend, of course, I recommend my own tutorial. You just start with my own tutorial. But of course, the first thing you need to do is you need to download Golang. On the Mac, all you have to do is, um, okay, let me show you on the Mac what you do on the Mac. On the Mac, all you have to do is brew install Golang. I think that's all you have to do. Okay, that's all you have to do. On Linux, it's kind of similar. So again, on Linux, so let me show you my Linux tutorial. Uh, Close that. So you go up, Linux tutorial. Let's go back to Linux tutorial. So where is it? The big penguin. By the way, do you guys know? I'm pretty sure many of you don't know because I'm getting old. Do you know the story of the origin of the Linux logo? Why Linux has this logo? Well, probably you guys don't know because you guys are younger. But back then, 20 years ago, everyone knows. So Linux got this logo because Linus, the guy Linus who created Linux, he when he created Linux back in 1991. Okay, when they become popular, people want to know. Okay, so what logo do you want? And his idea is that he wants a penguin that is fat and satisfied, like just had a meal. Thank you, Alan, for the super chat for the money. Thank you, Alan. So Linus Torvalds, he's a big nerd, and his idea of a logo, like he's thinking, okay, I want the penguin that's fat, just had meal, and just had sex, like a content penguin. That is how we got this Linux penguin logo. Okay, that's a little side story. Uh, okay, back to Linux. So if you want to know how to install Linux, of course, I have a tutorial. I have an article on that. You read this one by one. Okay, you read them one or two a day. So let's see where install packages. Now I tell you all about how to install packages. And by the way, have I mentioned already that all these are command line based tutorial? That is, you don't go to GUIs. Okay, you don't. Oh, let's do mouse and no. This is hardcore Linux tutorial. Everything is command line only. Well, actually, I do have a section on Linux desktop. You can see there, but most of this is about command line. So you go install packages. This page will tell you all about the most used, the commands that you need to use every day for the most practical ones. So you follow that, you will know. So anyway, so let's go back to Golang. So go to learn Golang. First of all, you install Golang. Golang, or you go to the Golang official site. Then you can, you find they have, like, they tell you how to install it. So the Go programming language, and there is a, let's see, documentation package, the project, whatever. Where is the download go? Okay, let's see, download go. Now, am I on Brave? Okay, so I'm on Brave. I need to turn on JavaScript. Okay, I talked a lot already, and actually, we have more important topics. I think I talked about lots of other things. So you see, Golang you can download for Apple. Yeah, Apple is very easy to download. You just download this package and you just, and then there's Linux. Linux is problems all the time. Problem. You know, because I, how do I know? I know because I use it for 4 years. Microsoft Windows MSI. You see, MSI is also very easy. Microsoft, stop. I don't want to download because I already downloaded. So you have, download. Microsoft MSI is the Microsoft's official installation mechanism. Basically, you download that, you double click, then it pops up, a graphical GUI. Okay, then you follow, where do you want to install it? Click, 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 and it's done. Apple, you download it, double click, it pops up. You drag it to your app folder or drag it to your anywhere. Then you have it. Linux, you download it, then it's fucked, and you are fucked. Okay, that's Linux. .tar.gz. Okay, so if you don't know what are those .tar.gz, I have an article on that. There it is. Tar gzip bzip2 xz7zip raw zip, one complicated thing. Okay, so anyway, so you download Golang. So the first step you download, then you just go through my tutorial. Okay, then after you go through my tutorial, you spend like 2 days, 3 days. Okay, you can work it out. Like, just like, for example, the first lesson, compile and run. You just copy it. You paste in your editor. Let's see, paste in your editor. Then save it as xx.go. Why? Because I told you so. Like, I have instructions here. Then you just run it. Okay. Then for example, we have this. Okay. Then let's go to the directory. This is a file xx.go. Then you go to a shell or a terminal. Then you say go. Oh, you can run it. Okay. Go run xx.go. Okay. Let's double check. Indeed. So you see, you run it, and it gives you the result. I love cats, which is from here. That's how easy it is. And you can compile Go programs. You can compile like go build test.go. Okay, so go build xx.go. That will compile it. Go can be run as a script, just like Python, Ruby, Perl, or JavaScript, or you can compile it like C, C++. When it's compiled, you send it to your friends, and they can run it without having to install Go. So that's one of the great advantage of Go, and it's super fast. Okay. For example, we have created the code here, a binary code XX here. You see this line? So I can open it. You see, that's a binary. And we can run it. For example, let's go back in shell again. And let's just run XX. Okay, run it. It prints I love cats. So you send this binary to your friends, and they can run. They can run it. They don't have to. Oh, you need to install Python first, or you have to install Ruby first. No, you don't have to. You just run it. So that's one of the great advantage of Go. So that's how you learn Go. Okay, I'm not done yet. Okay, so hold on a second. Let's delete that. We don't need that. Okay, close it. Close it. We are back in our Xa Talk Show page now. So Go. So how do you go? How do you learn Go? So first you download it, then you read my tutorial. You follow everything. You code it. You actually have to do it. That's the best way to learn. Oh, you can just read it for the first time. Then okay, here's two things you want to do. I'm going to which is I'm going to give you a introduction to the Go website. Okay, so you go to Go website. There are two things you want to do after you read my tutorial. Shut up. Okay, so so after you read my tutorial, then you go to the Go website. You can explore it. Okay, so for example, they also have a tutorial interactively, but I don't think that's as good. Okay, well, if you ask me, in my opinion, my Go tutorial is better than this tutorial. Of course, I've tried it when I started to learn Go. I don't like. I didn't find this tutorial to be great. So anyway, so after you read my tutorial, you go to the Go page. Okay, then let me tell you what to do. There are two things you want to do. Okay, one is that they have a Go spec, which is a specification of the language. Okay, so you go to the documentation and actually they have a lot. Language spec. So you can read that if you want. If you are the type of person who are interested in programming language, I mean, yeah, if you are interested in programming language details, I mean, if you have experience of reading spec before, then this is a good one to read. However, this is not a practical thing to do. So if you have never read a programming language specification before, then you don't want to, then don't do it. Okay, but if you have, this is very good. Okay, this is the best language spec of all the others I've seen. For example, far better than JavaScript spec, far better than Closure spec. Well, Closure doesn't have a spec. Far better than Emac list manual. Emac list doesn't have a spec, but you have Emac list manual. And then you have Java language spec, which is huge. Okay. But anyway, so the Go language spec is very good, and it's not very long. Okay. For example, I'm scrolling around it. The whole thing is one page. Well, it's like 50 pages or something, or 100 pages, but it's not long. And it's comprehensible. You read it, you can actually understand it. That is, if you have some experience in reading spec, because I know, because I've read quite a lot. So Golang spec is one of the best written language spec, and pretty easy to understand. It's not as in contrast, the JavaScript, the ECMAScript 2015, 2016. You try to read it, it's it's about 10 or 20 or 30 times larger than the Golang spec, and it's incomprehensible. It's one fucked up fuck, the JavaScript spec. And because the language is far more complicated than Golang. Okay, so anyway, here is Golang's spec. You can read. In fact, on my tutorial, I have included the Golang spec. If you just go to the bottom, you see I have my local copy of the Golang spec. There it is. Okay, so I read like 20% of it. I plan to read them more, but I haven't done so. So Golang spec is good to read. Okay, but you don't have to. Okay, but now let me show you the other thing, which is the most important thing. So after you read my tutorial, then you can read the Golang spec if you want to, or if you have experience in reading specs. Then the next important thing is to go to the packages. Now, these packages is the documentation of all the built-in packages. Now, Go is a low-level language, just like C, C++. So everything you do, you kind of need a package, because they divide the language into several, different parts. So that if you don't need something, you don't include that. So the binary is small. So that is why you have these packages built in. These are all built-in packages. Now on this page is the documentation for all these packages. For example, let me show a general example. For example, uh, standard library. Okay, you click on that, you have the standard library. You have tar zip for archives, IO buffer IO. You have bytes, you have compressions, all the compression we mentioned. You have crypt, crypt, crypto analysis, cryptography, database debug, SQL database, and hash HTML, image manipulation, IO, log, math. These are and networking. These all these are the fundamental built-in packages, and you are looking at their documentation. It's fantastic. Okay, once you read a few, you get a sense of what its writing style. Then you can just write them. You can just read them like a book. It's the best documentation written. Now there's one more thing. So this page is a documentation of built-in functions, built-in packages. But there's one more thing. You see, there's this thing built in this line. Okay, let me magnify. Okay, this line, this line, this one, it says built in. This one is actually not a package. The reason it's here, it's a special. The reason this built-in thing is here among the packages is because this is actually all the built-in functions about the Go language. For example, in Go language, you have all these keywords. They are part of the Go language. It's not a package. It's part of the core. For example, in Golang, you have these types. You have int 16, int 32, int 64. Then you have string type. So on this page, it's basically a documentation about these built-in things. Okay, built-in functions, part of the Golang, and they happen to put this built-in documentation among the packages. So it just they just find a place. It's just the way they do it. You might think, okay, so this is not consistent because packages, this page is supposed to be the documentation for all the packages. So if you put a documentation for the built-in keywords, it seems inconsistent. But Golang is very practical. It doesn't like have to stick to some artificial structure or something, as opposed to Python. Python, Python people, Python Guido, they like to create a big, like computer science structure, and they think they are doing good. Python doc is one of the worst. You cannot find what you need. You don't understand what they are saying. The documentation is imprecise, ambiguous everywhere, badly organized. And badly written too. That's Python documentation. But meanwhile, they try. They try to be like we are computer science. Python is crap. Python is the worst, one of the worst shit. So Golang doc is very good. Okay, that concludes my guide to how to learn Golang. In summary, you download Golang, then you read my tutorial, all of it. Okay, read it, like spend 2 days or more if you depends on you. You read my tutorial, then you go to the Golang packages. Then you start to read one or two packages. For example, string. Let me show you string. Because Golang is a very basic, very low-level language. So when you want to call string functions, such as get a substring or something, you require a package, and you require this built-in package. So this string package is gonna be used all the time. Like almost every one of your Golang program will need to import this string package. So you're gonna be reading this. You're gonna need to read this often. So you can start to, uh, you can choose this package to begin to get familiar with the Golang documentation for its packages. So that's it. That's it about how to learn Golang. Okay, uh, read the packages, and also last thing, on Golang side, you could just explore them. They got lots of other informations, interesting and useful informations. But what I've given the guide above is what I do. Okay, that's my recommendation. The steps to follow. Okay, that is about a guide to how to learn Golang. Okay, so what is the next thing? Are we okay? So I've been talking for too long, actually. Now, the main topic, the main dish today, I was planning to talk about number notation, history of numbers, number notation, and number base. Where does the concept came from? Most programmers, you might be familiar with, oh, hexadecimal, oh, octal, oh, decimal. You think you know, but you don't know. Okay. And I can explain what's the background. What's the number base? Why do you need a base in the first place? And that traces to the history of number notations and also the history of numbers, the concept. So that is what I was planning to do, the main thing. So, and I'm going to talk about, so some history about numbers, number notations. Then we're going to write a function in Golang to convert from base x to base y. The x and y can be anything. So you can have a base 7 number system. You can have a base 17 number notation, and you can convert between them. But I think I talked for too long on other things. So how long have you been at? Yeah, 46 minutes. Um, so comments, okay, comments, guys. Then let me know where to go, and maybe that'll be it today. Comments, and I'm gonna read the comments, and let's see where we go. Okay, it's all quiet on Discord, and today is Sunday, and now it's the holidays. I don't, my day every day is the same. I don't know when is Christmas. I don't know when is New Year. Until I learn, now it's our holidays. Okay, let me get a drink and let's read the comments. Please do base 60. Oh, yeah. Good morning, George. Hold on a second. That's Rockstar. Rockstar energy drink. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna talk some random for 10 minutes about number base. But we are not going to get into details about how to write a function in Golang to convert the algorithm to convert from one number base to the other. And that's fairly technical, and it's tasking. Like I mentioned this many times before, when you do a YouTube tutorial, if I do some technical like live coding, that really takes a lot of time, and that really takes a lot of my know-how. Like I really have to know it very well, and in order to do it. But the funny thing is that usually you don't get much people to watch that neither, because most people they want to watch the drama for entertainment. That's why most people are watching YouTube, not the so the interesting thing is that the more difficult subject you try to do, even if you do it well, the less people you have, the less audience you have. GTA. What does GTA mean? Gotta go? Or the game? What is GTA? So what says that is an advantagement of my compiled language, nothing that is Go specified. What? Oh, that is any advantage of compiled language. Yeah. So let me go to, and thank you, Alan, again. Great, Alan. Money talks. Of course. You guys love open source. Do money. Okay. Open source is going nowhere. It's so bad. It damages people. It damages yourself. Show screen. Okay. So let's see. Uh, So Pedro says, while I find Golang useful and easy, I've never been able to fully understand how the dependencies work and the project structure. What do you mean dependency? Dependency is just import libraries. And about the project structure, the Golang has a website that they talked about it, but I've actually never got into. Well, you need that only when you started to write bigger programs. But if you are just writing, one file script, I showed this many times. For example, I have lots of Go. For example, let's go. Let me show you one. Okay. Let's show you one Go language. Okay, this script. This script in Golang. Now this script is 220 lines. This script will go through all my website files, like 30,000 files. Among them is like 7,000 HTML files. It will go through all of them and find any link, any broken link. That is, link that goes nowhere, links that goes to a non-existent file. That's this program. So for example, let me show you. Okay, so for example, this is the input directory. So right now, this program is going to try to check xali.info site, just that site. Okay, that site has like 3,000 HTML files. But before we do that, let's go to my programming blog. Okay, so this is my programming blog on xali.info, and I'm blogging about something about Erlang, Emily's language, and and I have several links. For example, this link goes to click. This links to goes to my talk show a few days ago. Okay, so let's go back to the programming language. So let's go to so here is the link. Okay, now let's say we add something there, ttttt. So the link no longer works. Okay, now back to the browser, refresh. Now I click on that. It's a dead link because it's pointing to a non-existent file. You see, but now I go to my Golang script. You see, this script will find all bad links. So I run it. I just run it, and in 2 seconds or so, it'll tell me which link are bad. Um, everyone takes a shot. Everyone takes a shot. Xali turns on JavaScript. Pedro says, for Linux, you should use the package manager. Laughing my ass off. Yeah, you mean the package manager I showed in my tutorial. You see, package managers, if we are going to talk about that, then I'm going to start a rant, 1 hour rant on Linux package managers. It's crap. Well, let's not begin that. So boss says it seems like you were drunk when you last time Linux. This is how I install stuff. Install YPG. What? Done. No. But you don't know. Well, Windows only make trouble like lots of modern Linux is not so bad. Okay, programming stuff was way easier to get up speed. Okay, anyway, let's go back to my Go script. Now you see it's done. Now let's call xa find output mod. This is a Emacs mod that highlight the stuff. So it tells me this file, this pink file, has a broken link, and this is the link content. So I press enter to go to that file position. You see, so that so you see that's how useful it is. This is a Go script that checks thousands of files. It finds broken links. Basically, what it does is that it kind of parses the HTML and find any of the link structure, then get the file path, then try to see if that file exists. So if that file doesn't exist, print it out. That's the essence of that program. So it worked. So let's fix it. Okay, done. So here, so this is the Golang script. Only 200 lines. Yeah. So go read my tutorial. Okay. Golang. Maybe Alan. Maybe it'll be your next language, other than JavaScript. So Bar says that is okay. So let's see. Keygen.exe. Keygen. Keygen is a Unix command, I think, in my humble opinion. Does that say hello world? Hello world. Okay. Yes. Oh wait, never mind. I thought you were asking George. They do that to demo Golang's Unicode abilities. Well, yeah, and they are marketing. The things on Golang's website is half of it is marketing, and the way that's typical for any programming language homepage, because they want to attract you. They want to lure you into using the language. That's what every programming language website wants to do. So they have a video. This guy, creator of Golang, this Rob Pike, talking about it. Rob Pike is kind of a dramatic, colorful people. He's one of those Unix philosophy type of people. He's very fond of Unix. But anyway, but I didn't like him. However, about 7 years ago, since I started to learn Golang, actually by actually digging into it, actually started to code. Then I love Golang. Yeah, I find every design. I talked about this before in my previous video, like 3 4 months ago. So I started to dig into Golang. Then I discovered all the design decisions. And well, first of all, it's so simple. The documentation is best. Okay, best of them all. It's super fast, and it's pretty clean. It's simple, clean, easy to learn. So I find it great. Okay, and supports functional programming. And then so I started to learn more and more, and I find that every design decision I like. Okay, by this Rob Pike and friends. He's got a bunch of his friends who co-designed the Golang. So I started to so I like uh, uh, the Rob Pike's opinion, at least for his language design. Uh, Golang is KNR. Are you a member of the society smarter than Mensa? No. Please do base 60. Okay, number positions. We like drama and entertainment. Often I listen and watch stuff while I'm working on something else, like washing the dishes. wanking and yanking text. You know, nabby. Like whenever I see people, especially people who follow me, most people who follow me because of my Emacs stuff, my Emacs tutorial, my Emacs and Emacs Lisp knowledge. Most people follow me because of my Emacs stuff. But whenever I see them, when they learn Emacs, they started to post some other tutorial. Like they started to say, "Oh, I like that video," or I like this website about Emacs." I get pissed. I get how do you say? I get um indignant. I get indignant. Like I have this entire tower of tutorial, the most easy to read, the most logical, the most the greatest writing, the style, and the most bulk. Like in quantity and quality, there's nothing out there that's comparable to my Emacs tutorial and Emacs list tutorial. But then I see my followers. I mean, these are people who actually follow me, and I talk to them. They're friends, okay? Some of them are closer. Then I see them, they post this. I was thinking to myself, oh my God, what's the problem? Okay, so is there a problem with my tutorial somewhere that that makes you go to somewhere else to read the other tutorial? Like, what's the deal? So I don't. So every time I see that, I get indignant. Okay. So I, I don't know. So I guess sometimes other people they got video tutorials that suits them or on occasion or something. So anyway, so I'm gonna do random chat for 5 minutes on number systems. Then we're gonna shut down. Okay. So what's up, guys? Anything else? Good morning. So George says, okay, first of all, I'm gonna showcase Xali Unicode. You go to my Unicode's website. I'm gonna showcase some of the number systems used in history. Okay, so we are on xali.info Unicode. Unicode search. So we're gonna type NUMBER. So we are seeing all Unicode characters that contains the word number in their name. So you can see here we are seeing quite a lot ancient. Okay, so actually it doesn't show too much because I have a limit of how many characters to show, because otherwise you're gonna show thousands of characters. But anyway, we are seeing some of the number systems in different languages. So I can show you here, so you can see here's the information. So we have Arabic number sign, Arabic number mark above, Tamil number 10, Tamil number 100, Tamil number 1000. Okay, then here is a number sign. Here's Malayalam number 10. Here's Malayalam number 100. So then you have 1000. Then you have Ethiopic number 10, Ethiopic number 20, 30, 40, 50, and so on, 80, 90, 100. Then you have this Ethiopic number 10,000. You see, these are some of the different languages, how they represent numbers. Then you have these circled numbers, parenthesized numbers, characters, then and a number with a full stop with a period. That's a UK style of calling the period full stop. Okay, then you have, okay, those are not interesting. So anyway, let's scroll down. Then you have agent number 4, agent number 5, agent number 6, 7, 8, then 9, agent number 10. Okay, then you have agent 20, 30, 40, and so on, 60 and 90, and agent 100. Okay, now it's getting interesting. So agent number 200, 300, 400. So when it's 100, it's represented by a dot. Okay, then you have then you have 1,000 represented by this kind of a diamond dot shape. Explain number versus numeral. How do you explain that? Well, number is a concept of math. Numeral, I think numeral describes a number. Numeral, the word numeral means it describes the writing system to represent numbers. That's what I think. Okay, I'm not sure. Uh, for example, we can look up dictionary. Okay, so yeah, so numeral. Numeral is just a numeral system. Okay, so let's go to dictionary. A word, letter, symbol, or figure expressing a number. Yeah, I'm correct. Guys, I'm correct. Numeral, noun, a word, letter, symbol, or figure expressing a number. So, it's just, it indicates a number. Yeah, basically. So anyway, so we have other number systems. So we have Copic number 40, 10, 20, 30, 40. Very interesting. So in some, and then okay, so then we have Persian. Okay, look, guys, Persian, Old Persian number 1, 2, and this is number 10, and this is number 20, and this is number 100. Persian. Okay, then we have Imperial Aramic number. Okay, I don't have a font. Okay, so then we have Rumi, we have quite a lot others, and we have Old Hungarian number system. Then we have Pasteur Pahlavi number system. Then we have inscriptional Pahlavi number system. So anyway, these are then we have Brahmi, and we have Sogdian number system. So we are looking at lots of number systems in history. So that is my point. Just to show you that that's a number notation. You see, today we are familiar with Arabic numerals like 1, 2, 3. So 10 is 10, 100 is 100, 101 is 101 and 1. That's Arabic. To us, it's like basic. So basic. What's more to it? It's like we learn because it's not that basic. Okay, the reason we think it's so basic, it's because we learned it since we were 5, literally. Since we went to kindergartens. But the Arabic notation, that is not the beginning notation. The Arabic in the beginning we don't use that. Okay, for example, in I don't know what year 500 or something, the Western Europe, they are using Roman numerals. Okay, Roman numerals. There we have it. These are the Roman numerals. Okay, so in the I don't know what year they changed to Arabic number system. You can look up on Wikipedia. You look at you search for Roman numerals, and then you'll see the history of it. But anyway, during some time, year 500 or year 1000, I don't know. So Europe was using these Roman numerals, which is very cumbersome. Very fairly it's hard to read, hard to understand. Eventually, we adopted the Arabic, so-called Arabic number system. Now, so when on the subject of numbers, now we we are talking about the context here is about a notation, numerical notation to represent numbers. So that is the problem. So for example, let me ask you a problem. What are the ways to represent numbers? Okay. Now most of us know, well, we have decimal numbers, right? Yeah, that's we know it because we were taught from when we were a child. But suppose if you don't know that, or let me ask you, what's some other way? What's some other way to have a notation system that represent numbers? Can you name one? Well, yeah, you can. For example, Roman numerals. Okay, these Roman numerals. But that's not the only alternative. So the problem is what are the what are the possible ways to represent numbers, to have a written system to represent numbers? So we have quite a lot of ways, in history. How do I know? Because I'm a math history enthusiastic. In most of 1990s, I read. I've showed you my books. I can show you right now several. I have quite a lot books on the history of mathematics. Actually, let me show you. Okay. Books and books and books on the history of mathematics. I'm just going to show you a few, okay? So I'm showing you some of my history of mathematics book. I read them mostly in 1990s. That's why I know about these things. Uh, the Man of Mathematics. Okay, this is actually not a accurate historical book, but it's pretty dramatic and fun to read. It covers some of the most famous mathematicians, the Man of Mathematics. Then you have these 3 volumes of, okay, 3 volumes. Let's see if I can read it. Mathematical Thought Through Ancient to Modern Times, Volume 1, by Morris Klein. He's a famous math historian and also mathematician. Now, there are 3 volumes of it. Okay, 1, 2, 3. You see? So I read lots of it in 1990s. And by the way, you guys need to go buy it. Okay. Then there's this book, Number Theory and Its History. Okay. This is by this guy. He's also a kind of well-known mathematician, Olin Oysten. Oh, you can find his name in Wikipedia. Then this is another well-known math history book, very thick, very thick. A History of Mathematics by Carl Boyle. Carl Boyle. He's also very famous. You can, for example, you'll find his name on Wikipedia. So I read a few, and there's more. There's also uh, another math history book by Howard Eves. Howard Eves. Okay, let me show you. Okay, so you guys go buy the book for Christmas if you need to give someone a gift or something, to your friends or to your mom. Hey mom, I got you a math history of math book. Okay. So Kasadi, math blog. You go to my Xali math blog. Okay, so we digressed into math books, but let me get back to the numbers. How do you create a writing system to represent numbers? And by the way, the number we know, the Arabic number system, that is classified as the positional number system. I'll talk about that. Okay, so you go to my math blog, then you go to math books, math textbooks. Okay, now these are a bunch of free math books. Okay, and I actually looked through them, I recommend them, but you want to go to this one. Okay, so here is a photo of some of the books I showed you, and let me paste it so you guys can uh, go to Amazon. So let's go back to talk show. Where is it? Books. So math books. So first of all, so Alan says, do you think that reading of math history requires understanding lots of mathematics? Not really. Well, yes, yes. Yes and no, okay? For example, when I read all these books in the 1990s, I don't know that much math. So, okay, let me explain this. For example, there's another book. It's called The History of Pi. Okay, let me show you some Amazon. Okay, let's go to Amazon. Uh, Remind me to answer that question if I digressed. Okay, and remind me to go back to number systems. uh, History of Pi. Now, this is one of the very popular book. Okay, A History of Pi. I read it in 1990s, but I think I threw the book away. I gave it away or something. So here's a book by Peter Beckman. Wait, not this one. Yeah. A History of Pi. Okay, they changed the color design. You know, it's kind of annoying. The books, they change color design every few years, every 10 years. Uh, Anyways, this book, very popular, extremely popular. A History of Pi. By the way, this book is also not very accurate. Like when you study the history of mathematics, there are some books that's for the masses. Okay, like kind of like popularization of sciences. So they are easy to read, but their story, what they talk about is not very historically accurate, as opposed to some other history of math books. They are read and referenced by historians who study the math history. So there's kind of this distinction. So you know what I'm saying. So on one hand, for example, the history of pi, this book, and also this one, the men of mathematics, they are a little bit dramatic. Okay, they are kind of dramatic, not really that historically accurate. They are not, because they are designed for the general crowd. On the other hand, the other book I showed, for example, this one, the oh this Klein Morris. Okay, on the other hand, this book. Now these are for mathematicians. History of mathematics. This history of mathematics for they reference this book and others. Okay. Anyway, so the question about, do you need to know mathematics in order to read history of math? That, yes or no, that depends. If you are reading this common for the general audience, you don't need to. For example, this history of pi, you don't need to be a mathematician to uh, to appreciate this book. You can, just for fun, you can read a lot history of pi, more or less accurate. Okay, but if you are reading, for example, for example, these three volumes I'm talking about, the Morris Klein, then they talk about differential geometry, topology, differential manifolds, differential equations, uh, some equations in physics. You read it, but if you don't know those subjects, you don't get it. Okay, because because for example, if you are reading the history of chopstick, but if you don't know what is a chopstick, then you don't get it. So for the advanced history, you have to know the math of it in order to really fully appreciate the history of it. Okay, so that's it for today. So actually, yeah, I think that's it for today. The number systems, the number systems. I think that's basically all I have to say. I mean, so maybe next day we'll do a number base. Like, okay, so I haven't explained the positional number system, which is a decimal number system. It's positional. Why is it called positional? This class of notations is called positional number system. Why positional? Because when you say 10, that's 10, the position is critical because 1 to the left of 0 is different from 0 to the left of 1 or on top or whatever. So it must be positioned that way. It's, you see, the meaning of a sequence of digits depends on their position. That's why it's called positional notation system. Okay, I think that's it for today. So let's see. I've been talking for 1 hour. Oh my God, 1 hour and 20 minutes. So young. Okay, so my screen is still off. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so uh, sharing of there for pure math. So try to answer questions about reading math. I think it is similar with computer programming stuff. Thank you. Okay, thank you for answer. Yeah. So if you know more about computing stuff, you can access to much more stuff. Yeah. So I guess yeah, it's a similar to reading history of computing or history of computer languages. That would be yes, exactly. Okay, Alan. Well, Alan was uh, talking about 60 base system. That's very interesting, but I think that's it for today. So many interesting things. In Chinese, every four makes more sense. Yeah, that's another topic to go into. I was always confused when I want to convert between Chinese and English. Anything else? Explain number versus numeral. Okay, so what different bases be about different numerals for these numbers? Okay, we're gonna shut down in 1 minute, but I can explain. Okay, so positional number system. So you just type positional number system like number notation. You can read on Wikipedia. It's like all these thing are there. Uh, so base 10. So first of all, the Arabic system we use, the decimals, notation is base 10. Why 10? It means we use 10 symbols. That's it. Because we use 10 different symbols. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10 different symbols. The symbol can be anything, can be A, B, C, D, E, F, G, or whatever. We are using 10 of them, different, symbols. And we place the symbols in a horizontal way, and we position them to make sense what they mean. So the easiest way, I started to explain this, but I should stop today. I should stop today. Anyway, so you go to Wikipedia. It's not hard to understand. Okay, so you have positional systems. So Wikipedia actually, you go there, it's gonna be a black hole. You have a history of number notations, history of numbers, history of number concepts, and so on. And and the number base, and so on. So anyway, so yeah, that's it for today. So I think, bye guys. Bye guys. Have a happy holiday. Merry Christmas. Christmas is oh, today is 22nd. Oh my God, Christmas is like the day after tomorrow. Let's see who is on Discord. So guys, join Discord if you haven't already. Okay, we had fun chatting today on Discord on voice. Bye bot. Bye bot. Merry Christmas.